Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea, and today I'd like to share with you more of the information I've received from the 25th dimension during my last BQH hypnosis session with my friend Lorraine. But before we move forward, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and please do give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me. And do leave me a comment below to let me know if this stuff resonates with you, or just even to say hi. I appreciate all your comments. All right, so I'm going to start reading here. And again, when I say Lorraine, I'm referring to my friend, the hypnotist, asking me questions I prepared in advance of the session. And when I refer to me, I'm talking about myself under hypnosis, which means the answers are coming from the 25th. All right, I'll start reading. Lorraine, you told us that people going to hang out with aliens will be told about things like the age of Aquarius, and many will believe in it because that's what the aliens believe. But you also said they will be monitored to see when they're ready to realize that this is a game and ready for a new Earth. But who is monitoring them, since the aliens believe in the game? Fantastic question. This was Lorraine commenting on my question. That was cute. Me. Is there a higher self who is monitoring? So when we monitor, it's like, how do we monitor ourselves? The higher selves are always passing guidance. When they see we're latching onto something, they're like, okay, you're ready for the next bit. So we do our own self-monitoring. So even the people in the 3D chambers, which is the next question, they're going to be monitored by their higher self. So in 3D chambers, just like here, they'll have the opportunity to awaken, to remember. And because they remember, their essence will take it from there. So they will either reincarnate somewhere or be like, okay, I know this is a 3D chamber, let me out. And they might go hang out with the aliens. Basically, everything is available to the essence. The essence monitors itself. It just depends on what it wants to experience. So the monitoring is not done externally. Lorraine. So we have been monitoring, our essence has been monitoring each and every one of us to see where our awareness level is at all times. And why would our awareness level matter since we're already ascended? Me. Yeah, basically the reason for that question is a basic confusion where we assume that our awareness means that you are more or less. That's not what it is. Awareness just means you want to have this experience of being aware, of knowing that there are aliens. You want to be aware that matter is not all that there is. You want to be aware that there is a God. That's all it is. That's all awareness is. Basically, the essence has decided, this is the experience I want to have. I want to have the experience of knowing that this is a game. So there you go. You have that type of awareness. It's not even a degree, it's that type of awareness. Here we think of it as degrees. It's like somebody who believes in God is higher awareness than somebody who doesn't believe in God. It doesn't work that way. We are all equal. We all know there is source. We all know we're from the 25th. The question is, what do you want to be awake to? What do you want to consciously know about? That's all it is. So that's what it means. There is no... we don't need to have the awareness because we're moving up in the world and they were laughing, or in some type of hierarchy. We just want that experience. So once, for example, your higher self decides that they want to pass to you the knowledge, the awareness that this is a game, okay, because that's what your higher self came in to want, and it's taking you through these steps to get there, it's watching. Okay, so the higher self is like, I sent this message and this was ignored. I sent these dreams and they were ignored. I sent a near-death experience, so finally the person is paying attention. That's what it means, monitoring. Is that the higher self will pass guidance based on how the 3D human is willing to absorb, on how quickly he's willing to absorb it and open its eyes, so to speak. That's all. So the monitoring is not done by the aliens. So it's not depending on their understanding of things either. Really, again, the essence is free, right? So your own essence is deciding when it's time for you to have a certain type of experience. Lorraine, so why would we want the knowledge of this being a game spread? What's the benefit of that? And wouldn't it be more fun if everyone continued to believe in the game? Me. Actually, no. We decided that it would be more fun for a change to actually know that this is a game and see what happens. Not all of us, but we're going to have a few people in the multiverse actually play with the idea that this is a game and see what happens. So yeah, it's just a different way of playing the game. We just decided that we're going to have more people be aware of this being a game. Lorraine, does us being aware, or more of us being aware of this being a game, allow us to consciously retain our full manifestation powers while being in the game? Me. Yeah, I mean, imagine how fun that's going to be when we get to be like superheroes. Yeah, it's just a different way of playing the game. We now want to, it's like playing Monopoly. You know you're playing Monopoly, but you're like, oh, now I can't buy that hotel because I don't have enough money. We're like, yeah, I can buy whatever I want. I have all the money in the world, right? You're just changing the rules. It's really what you're doing. You're just saying, I'm playing this game, but I have no limitations in this game. So instead of going, throwing the dice and only moving by 6 steps, I can go around the board 12 times on my turn if I want to. They were laughing. That's all it is. It's a different way of playing the game. We know this is a game. We know this is not real. And we decided we're not going to have all these rules. Rules are boring. Let's see what happens if we have no rules. And this is what we're doing. That's why some civilizations are concerned. It's because they can't even conceive playing the game without rules. Because rules are supposed to be limitations so that you keep believing. And they're afraid that if we have no limitations, we might even mess with their games and say, why are you guys throwing the dice? Dice only go up to 6. Why can't you just go around the board, 1,000,000 times? And they didn't want that, right? They want to play with their rules. They don't want us to ruin their game. And so we'll be respectful of that. And that's fine. But they just want to see it. They want to see that we're not going to interfere. So that's why they're a little bit anxious. But they also believe in us. A lot of civilizations believe in us, and they're quite excited about this experiment. Everybody in the multiverse is excited about this because what we're going to be doing now has never been done before. We have never come into the matrix thinking, let's be clear, this is a game. We've never done this before, which doesn't mean nobody knew this was a game, but it does mean that at a collective level, would never come in saying, okay, we're not even going to have amnesia anymore. This is a game. We're just hanging out in 7D because we like the 7th floor. It might have been, 20D, could have been 4D, doesn't matter, 5D. We're changing a lot of the ways the civilizations think about the game too, just by being there. For example, with the fact that 7D, a lot of civilizations think that it is very hierarchical, and that you go up in awareness as you move up, in consciousness level and dimensions. But now we're going to a 7D planet, and our consciousness is going to be close to the 25th. So now they're learning that means nothing. We could have been in 3D and at a consciousness level close to 25th. And this is what concerns them, that it's going to be harder for them to pretend that it's a game with certain strict rules, because we're already changing the rules just by telling them, oh, we're just going to be 7D, but we're still going to be like we're in 25D. So it's something they're dealing with, but they will learn. We are all learning. I mean, I thought this was absolutely brilliant. The fact that we're just going to 7D and it's just like a floor. It doesn't mean that you have less of a view or more of a view than any other floor. I mean, incredible, truly. I mean, we thought of everything. This is absolutely beyond brilliant. Lorraine, I, for one, am very excited, and I like the idea of breaking rules and expanding consciousness, being that ripple, that pebble in the pond and rippling out. Me, yeah, it's going to be fun. Lorraine, I've been told that I am a radical. When I first heard that, it floored me, but then it resonated to my core, and they were laughing. Lorraine is a riot. She's definitely a light worker. Lorraine, you said that people in 3D chambers will not need to work, but that they will still have money. Will discrepancies in wealth still exist among people, or will everyone be able to afford everything equally? Me, yeah, everybody will be able to afford whatever they want. Lorraine, I think that's great. Will they still have businesses and corporations, a stock market, and invest in opportunities like real estate with people owning houses that they rent to others? Or will everyone own a house or multiple houses? Me. So everybody will own a house. And so there's really not going to be the need for multiple houses, for anybody owning multiple houses, unless maybe they want to believe that they have a house here and a house there, you know, by the beach or whatever it is. But everybody's pretty much going to live wherever they want to be because they don't have to be tied to a job anymore like we were here. So really, most people are just going to have a house and they're going to be perfectly happy with that. And so will there be corporations? No. Will people come together to achieve certain missions or passions or whatever? Yes. Could even use money because they will still use money in some ways to facilitate certain things come together. Yes. But it's going to be a very different concept from what we think of companies today. What we think of companies today is some people just put in the money and they make money back, but they really have no input. They really don't care about the labor part of it. And some people are just labor, and so they get paid for their work. It's not really going to work like that. Everybody's going to be involved. It's going to be equally involved. And really, technically, they wouldn't even need the money. But because they believe in money, they're still going to use that to account for things. This is why we're saying, in a way, the concept of company is still going to exist, but it's going to be nothing like we have now. And it's for sure not going to be the huge corporations that are faceless. And they're just a shield to protect, you know, legally protect certain people. So there's not going to be debt. There's not going to be a stock market, you know. There's not really a stock market because people want to participate in something. They're going to participate. I think this was supposed to say, if people want to participate in something, they're just going to participate. They're not just going to give money. People are going to use their money to do things they want to do. So it's not about giving the money to somebody else, and they're not going to need to invest because they will have all the money they need for everything they want. So yeah, there's not going to be a stock market like that, like we have here. Lorraine. What about banks? Me. Banks? No, there's not going to be banks. There's going to be a system to keep track, to do the accounting, but it's not going to be banks. You don't actually keep the money somewhere. So everybody's going to have, basically is going to know the money that's available. It's almost like it magically appears from somewhere, because really that's what it is. Even today, it magically appears. And again, it's not tied to labor. So it's not like you have to feel like it's coming from somebody else and being given to you. And so it might be that they have something that tells them, you know, an object that tells them, here's the money that I have, but it's not going to be a bank. They might come up with the idea that, you know, again, there is a central entity that, and again, it doesn't mean it's going to be a huge thing like a government or an institution. This is the accounting department that keeps track of everybody. But you don't even, because you don't even care. It's not about watching each other anymore. It's not like when we pay taxes, for example. You don't have to keep track of these things. So it's going to be a very, very easy, simple system. But they do want a system of accounting. So there has to be something that makes them feel like this is being accounted for. So it just can't be in their head, I guess. This is the point. Lorraine. So what will money be used for if people don't need to have jobs? Everything they need is provided, or they have the means for it. Me. And sorry, guys, I'm checking my phone because I'm waiting for the school to call me for my daughter. So just to make sure I'm not missing a message from them or a call from them. Me. They might want to use money to buy themselves painting supplies because they want to take on painting. They might still like to believe they cannot create a canvas. They need to buy from somebody. So people will still be doing these things, but it's not going to be maybe a corporation or company that makes canvases for everybody. Maybe they have a friend who creates canvases because everybody's going to be following hobbies and passions and learn to do things that they never had a chance to do before. Maybe somebody wants to become a woodworker and all of a sudden he's selling these pieces to people and people will pay him for it. It's going to be much more of a small, what you would call a small business type of environment. So in that sense, it's going to be fun to spend money One, because you don't have the scarcity mindset anymore. You don't feel like, oh my goodness, if I pay this man for the cabinet, I won't be able to buy that, or I won't be able to eat. There's not going to be any of that. So for example, one of the questions is, will they spend money on food? Yes and no, because food is going to be available everywhere, really. But at the same time, if they wanted to believe like, oh, we don't have access to this food over here, we're getting it from over there, because again, they're going to believe that we're in a country. They might think, oh, you know, I need to spend money to get it here, or I need to spend money to buy a car, or even if it's a flying car, wherever it is. And that's what it is. But money is going to be used in a fun way. Like it's allowing you to do fun things, as opposed to, oh, I have to be so careful because I don't have enough and I can't do all these things because I need to pay for my necessities. It's not going to be like that. It sounds a lot more fun, I have to say. Lorraine, a couple of questions here. Who will be managing money if there is no government and the purpose of money is if everything we need, okay. If there is, okay, so a couple of questions here. Who will be managing money if there is no government? And if everything we need, we have access to and wanted to buy, for instance, of woodworkers, artwork and things, where is the money coming from? Me. Yeah, so the money, again, it will be something that you have, say, on your telephone or on a gadget, and you will believe, they will believe, that there is actually an authority that runs the money system. That's how they will explain it to them. But it's not going to be, it's going to be almost like a faceless, almost like an automated IT thing. So there's not going to be people who can change the value of money, or they can do things, so they can decide things. Oh, tomorrow we're taking a break, or we're increasing interest rates. There's not going to be any of that. So from a 3D perspective, they still have to think that there's something that is managing the money. Of course, there isn't. It's in the technology. It's a program. But to them, it will make sense. But it will not be like a centralized, it will not be like an institution, like we think of institutions, like government or people having to work there. So they need money for themselves. So they're taking money from you, kind of thing. It's not going to be like that. It's just going to be very efficient. They're going to think, wow, this is a great system. So yeah, they're going to have, you know, say telephones or whatever it is, where they can check their balances, etc. They're going to think there is, because it's only digital, it's not going to be real money. They're going to think there's a centralized place that just keeps everybody's balance. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.